In this video, we're covering using tables of values. So a table of values is a table that includes X and Y coordinates. We use these to help us graph problems, especially functions, which will be shown later on. So it is important to understand how we read a table of values and then how we can use it to plot points from it. So on your screen, you can see there's a table of values there. You can see our first row is our X coordinates and our second row is our Y coordinates. Each column here represents a specific point on the graph, on a Cartesian plane. That first point, that first column here as 0, 5, we would write that down as 0, 5. The next one, 1, 7. And the last one, 2, 3. Because remember, when you're writing down coordinates, your X comes first, then your Y. Once we're able to identify these points, we can go put these points on a Cartesian plane and answer most of the problems around this type of question. So, we're actually going to do an example of how we actually can plot these on a number line, or a Cartesian plane, sorry. So we have a table of values at the top there. So what I could do is I could label them. So I'm going to label this as A, B, C, and D. And I'm going to write my coordinates over here. So A is -4, -1. B is -2, 0. C is 2, 2. And D is 4, 3. Now that I know that, I can actually go and plot these points on our number plane. So if I'm looking at -4, -1, I go across to -4 and then go down to -1. So there's going to be a point here. That's my point A. So if I go to do my next one, so I'm going to tick that off. We did it. I'm going to do my next one, B, -2, 0. So I'll go across to -2, and it is at 0. So I can actually leave that point. If I rub these out, leave that point right there. That's B. Next, we're going to do 2, 2. So I go across to 2, and then I go up to 2. So up there, that's going to be my C. And then lastly, I've got my D1, and I go across to 4, and then up to 3. And I can put my dot there. Now, many questions will also have you draw a line going through those points. So I'm going to get out my ruler. I'm going to bring it over here, and I'm going to line them up as best I can. At this point, I can draw a line going straight through them. In that way, if this was a pattern, I can find any point given my X point. So if I want to say, well, what is in my pattern, what's my value going to be when X is 0? So here's X 0, and I go up to my blue line and say, well, when X is 0, Y is going to be 1. What if I said I want to know what my Y value is when X is 3? So I go across to X is 3, and then up here, so it's going to be 2.5. So it's important to realize that with these tables of values, you can rewrite them like we did over here, or you could just say, for A, I go across to -4, and then down to -1, and you can just put your dot there. Either way works fine. Make sure you're clearly labeling them with large dots so the marker can see, and then make sure you're reading the question carefully, because sometimes the question will say, have you just do the dots, do the points, but sometimes it'll also ask you to draw a line through it.